Sova actually is an old family name from my father's side. It is Ukrainian, and Sova means owl. I was always drawing, I was always making something, and always designing. Sore wrists, tendonitis, carpal tunnel, beaten, battered fingers, but I love it. My name is Sherri Hrycay. I live in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, Canada, and I'm a hat maker. It's not a hat, it's a Sova. A hat for every head, absolutely. As soon as you walk in here, I know exactly what I'm going to put on your head before you do. I'm primarily self-taught. I always say that if you ask me to wrap a present, it looks like a 3-year-old did it, but for some reason I know how to make a hat. I've always known how to make a hat. I have gone overseas, and I do go overseas very often to do master classes. I work with milliners who might not be as well known, but they're more hands-on with their product. For instance, I worked with a milliner who was the in-house milliner at Buckingham Palace. I do not use glue. I don't think that there's any place for glue when you're making hats. If I'm making some flowers, you do use glue for the petals, that sort of thing. But everything that's put on the hat is sewn by hand. I try to work with the customer to make sure that the hat suits them and they like the color, and it brings out the best of their facial features. They're going to get a hat that will last forever. I use only the best fur felt that I could find, and I make it to fit their head. I worked with a milliner, Ian Bennett, and did some feather dyeing with him, and which opened up a whole new world of design for me when it comes to, you know, making flowers of the feathers, that sort of thing. He actually dyed a group of feathers from green to yellow, and I was doing a class with him down in Australia, and I saw these feathers, and immediately it reminded me of the Saskatchewan flag. He gave me some of those feathers, and I came home and I made a Saskatchewan hat. But interestingly enough, the other feathers that I don't have that were in his possession are now on a hat for the Queen. I love the 1920s. I think that maybe I was, you know, a soul from back then in Paris. I love the fashions. I love the freedom that women were starting to have. The fun, the flair. It was, you know, a wonderful time between the wars, and I get a lot of inspiration from that time period. I find that the styles back then seemed to suit people, women, men, better than, you know, some of the mass-produced stuff that you find now. It's something that that I just do. I'm like an ant, you know how they just keep working and working and working? That's all I do. I make hats all day, I go home, I make hats at night. Then I go to sleep and I dream about hats, and then I wake up and I start all over again. That's all I do. I'm obsessed with it. I don't know why. It's not like it was a calculated move on my part to start a hat shop in Saskatoon. It's just something that I do and that I was meant to do.